Hi, this is Sally again with Sally Cares. We're doing this series where Lauren, the talented recorder of our videos, is my daughter, and she is reminding me of a discussion that we had where we were talking about different topics that may be of interest to you all out there. And so we were going to run a few small videos that kind of address some things that might be questions you might have, or feelings that you'd like to be reviewed a little bit, and if there's any brainy ideas that I have that, I don't know, but to help you manage, cope, and take care of the situation that you have. But anyway, we were coming up with different ideas. And Lauren, what was the next one? We've already done one of these, so go back and look at it if you haven't already looked at it. And what was that first one, Lauren?
So the first one that we discussed, which you can find on the channel, is about the challenge of change when your spouse is ill. But this time, for this video in this series, Mom, we were talking about people or things with auditory issues, and to simplify that, hearing. So what are your thoughts about hearing?
Well, sometimes, I'm going to start out with a joke, and I always think this is like one of the, I know, right? This is one of the funniest things, but I could relate to this so much, that there was a couple whose husband had horrible hearing, and took him to the hearing aid specialist and all this, and got fit for hearing aids and whatever, and they came back to the doctor's office, and the doctor said, well, how are the hearing aids going? And nobody answered, and he looked at the patient, and he said, well, didn't you get your hearing aids? And he said, what? And he said, well, didn't you get your hearing aids? And he goes, oh, wait. He said, I have to turn them on. He said, nobody knows that I've got them yet, but I've changed my will 3 times since I've had them. So, it's a funny thing when people don't mind not hearing, because there's so much chatter in the background and complaining and moaning and groaning and and all this, and so they just go click, and I know you've had that feeling with your kids, your spouse, or whatever, that they just tune you out. You've heard that phrase. I know my kids tune me out. Even as adults, they tune me out, so that's sad. But in any event, when it comes to aging, my favorite topic. When it comes to aging, it's natural for our hearing to change, and it's natural for it to decrease, and yet it does it in different dimensions, where some people will only hear like lower sounds, and they'll just miss the higher sounds. And I am not an audiologist. I have friends that are audiologists, but and I do want to interview them and bring some information to you about that, because they're great. But the interesting thing about hearing is when people won't acknowledge that they're not hearing. And this with your parents. Sometimes you'll walk in the room and the TV will be blaring, and you'll say, do you really need it that loud to hear? And they're like, what? It's not that loud. And you're like, oh my. I mean, I used to do that when my dad was alive, bless his heart. And I would walk in and I would say, come on. He goes, that's not loud. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it'd blow your brains out. But anyway, I was with a patient and his wife the other day in their home. And this gentleman has Parkinson's and a low tone to his voice now, and he has problems speaking more loudly. It takes a conscious effort for him to do that, and all the emphasis though goes on to him. You're not, speak up. You're not talking loud enough. Come on, I can't hear you. And the caregiver's always saying, what, and frustrated because she keeps saying, what, and he's just like, ugh, I don't know that I'm not talking that loud, because for some of these folks with these kinds of vocal disabilities, they have to put forth a lot of volume, a lot of air in their lungs, and push it out to bring their voice louder. So it's effort. It's a big effort for them to speak more loudly. But in general, I had to laugh because I'm watching this wife look at her husband, and if they watch this video, that she's gonna kill me. But it was a riot, because she kept leaning into him with her right side, and I looked at her and I said, I don't think you can hear. What? She said, what? And I said, well, it's obvious. you can't hear, because I can hear him and you can't. That's my first clue. And I'm sitting like about where you are in conjunction to where he is, and you're missing it and I'm not. So she goes, well, it's not that bad. I said, listen to me. You either get your hearing checked or quit asking him what he said, because he is going to become paranoid that he's just not able to produce the vocalization that you can hear. And that's not fair. So you need to get your ears checked. And she was just like, oh my gosh, I just can't, and people will do that. They would just don't want to admit that their hearing's going down. They don't want to admit that they're having trouble, because I'm like, you know what? I don't know how old they are, 80? Come on. Everybody should say, okay, I guess my hearing's kind of going down. I mean, there's certain things we just need to sort of expect. And it's not the end of the world. You can't see these hearing aids anyway. And there's so much technology involved in them. They are so cool that you and I'm sure plenty of you have seen them, where you have the app for your phone and you can adjust the volume. If you're in a crowd, in a theater, whatever, you can open up your phone and you can lower or you can increase the auditory stimulation that you get. I mean, come on, people. There's some really good stuff out there. Or you can buy $300 ones at Costco. I mean, I don't know. But and I'm not going to say, because I know the audiologists kind of cringe, but there are some people. Those kinds of hearing aids amplify, whereas these more extensive hearing aids really take hearing impairment and improvement to a whole nother level. So but the market's available. Is all I'm trying to say. And you shouldn't ignore it. And if you find yourself saying to your loved one, I can't hear you, think twice, okay? Yes, maybe their voice is softer. Yes, maybe they're having difficulty speaking. Yes, maybe all that's true. But what's going on here between your ears? You know what I'm saying? It's like, let's see if maybe you couldn't get your ears checked and see if that would help, because it might. So I don't know if I've made enemies on this one or not, but believe me when I tell you, it's a bonus when you can hear your loved ones speak. So that's it for the hearing discussion. And I'll just wait for Lauren to give me another topic. Please like, share, and subscribe. Visit around the website, or not the website I guess is ItsSallyCares, but we're getting that sort of built up. But the Instagram, the YouTube, we're working on it. But it's great to have you here, and I appreciate it. Please share your comments down below if you've got some, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. Thanks for watching.